Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish these notes now, for real this time. And what we're dealing with is some more notation. So check out A. Look at this notation, f plus g of x. This is not combining functions the way we've been doing. This is saying something different. So take a look up here. This is what it means. It means add the functions together. And that looks weird, but it's not that bad. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to find f of x. I'm going to write it in, x squared plus 3x minus 4. And then I'm going to say plus. And since it's a plus, I don't have to add any parentheses. But when we do a minus, we're going to have to do that. So I'm going to make sure we pay attention to that. And then now that's it. I wrote in the first part, which is f of x. You can see it. And then I wrote in the second part, which is g of x. Now combine them. The numbers go together. -4, -1 ends up being -5. Hooray for us. And then we have 3x and 1x, which ends up being 4x together. And then we have x squared, which is by itself. And then we can just do that. And that's it. And so that is your answer. And you record it with f plus g of x. It's not so bad. Equals this garbage. Now, check out B on how to set up a subtraction one. When you set up B, you're going to do f of x minus g of x. And this one requires parentheses because you have to distribute. So f of x is x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now you're going to do minus. Now we need this parentheses right here, y'all. For this one, we need it. X minus 1. Why do we need that? Because we have to distribute this minus sign into this entire thing. So how do I distribute that? Well, pretend this is a -1. So -1 times positive x is -x. And then negative times a negative is +1. And now we're basically ready to rock and roll. And we can basically put these together. So you have x squared plus 3x minus 4 minus x. Well, it goes together, the numbers. I can see it. -4 and 1 go together. I'm going to write over here. Sorry for the room. So that's 3. And then I don't want to write it over there. So I'll write it just down here. So I have 3. That's -4 and 1. So that's -3. Sorry. Negative x and 3x is 2x. That's a positive 2x. And then I have my x squared. Did I get everything? X squared, yes. 3x and -x, yes. And then blah, blah, blah. Cool. So that's your answer right here for that one. C, f of x times g of x. Y'all, I'm not in the mood for doing this. I'm going to show you how to set it up. If you look at right here, the product is like that. So what you end up doing is you have to literally multiply them together, which stinks. But it's not the end of the world. So when you have it like this, now this is that mega distribution thing where you have to basically distribute multiple times. So it's going to start on x squared and you would multiply to x. Then you would multiply to -1. Then you'd come back and you'd do it again here and you'd do it again here. And then you'd come back and you'd do it again here and you'd do it again here. So you have quite a bit of terms to figure out here. So what do we have? I'm going to do x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times -1 is -x squared. 3x times x is positive 3x squared. 3 times -1 is -3x. And then I have 4 times x, which is 4x. And then I have 4 times -1, which is -4. Now I have to go back and put all my crap together. The dangling numbers, I have a -4. That's awesome. Only have to worry about that there. The x's, how many x's I have? I have a -3 and a +4. So that's going to end up being 1x. So I'm going to write the positive 1x right here. I'll cross that out. And then I have the -x squared and the 3x squared. That combines to 2x squared. So I'll cross that out. And then I'm left with my x cubed. And this is a positive 2x squared. And so that's what we have. That's your answer for that one. That's a lot. And notice the difference on D and C. Do y'all see this? These are not the same things. C and D are not the same thing. This one with the filled in dot means multiply. This one here is composition. That's the one where you insert into each other. So be careful of the difference. This is a big lesson. Now, I'm going to finish this last little bit right here. Evaluate compositions from the graph. How do I do that? This is kind of fun. F of g of 0. The first thing you need to do is find g of 0. Find g of 0. And that's essentially where x is equal to 0. go find where x is equal to 0. So here's my g of x right here. And I'm going to go find where x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0 right here. And then that means that point right there. Whoops. That point right there. Can you see it? 0, negative 6. So we end up with negative 6 right there. So then I have to plug in f of negative 6 into that. Now I go to the f, and I find negative 6 on my x, which is right here. And now I'm going to go all the way down. Okay, there's that again. I'm going to go all the way down. And it looks like somewhere here. Let's just call it this. Let's just call it this point right there. I'll call it that. I'm cool with that. And that looks like a negative 5 to me. So then f of negative 6 equals negative 5. So if you didn't catch that, watch that again on B. On B, I'm going to switch to purple for B. Yeah, so the answer for A is, in fact, the whole thing comes out to be negative 5. And so now on B, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through it. You have f of 0. So let's go find f of 0 on the first one. F of 0 equals, let's see, it looks like it's 6. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's 6. So I'm going to plot 0, 6 on that one. And now, once I find my f of 0 is 6, I'm going to plug it into my g of 6. And then I'm going to go to g, and I'm going to find 6 on here. Check it out. My x right there, which means my y is 0. Boom, ta-da. Done with the lecture.